This is meeting of the Real Estate and Open Space Committee on March 18th, 2022. We were in executive session. We have adjourned from executive session, and we are now back into our regular meeting. Welcome our guest, Amy Wasowski, and Art Bowden. Welcome. Good to see you. First order on the agenda is to approve the minutes from the February 18th, 2022 meeting. Just keep them both together. Anyone, all in favor of approving these minutes? Motion to approve?
I fixed that X missing,
Right.
so.
Okay,
So do you need a motion?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of the February 18th regular session meeting minutes and the executive session meeting minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
They are approved. And thank you very much, Carol, because Carol, did this from watching the recording because she was, not present at the time.
Oh, and thanks for the executive notes. I couldn't.
Oh, please, don't. Yeah, everybody knows how bad I am at taking notes. Okay. We really don't have any old business. I mean, everything that's...
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Well, not so fast. Wait a minute. Let me
quick.
think. I did attend the Affordable Housing Trust meeting on February 28th. They seem to be taking charge and trying to organize a little bit better. They discussed taking the properties that they now have and going through the list and prioritizing. They already have an RFP out for a survey on the Oak Street property. They only got one response, but because things are, everybody knows it's hard to get surveys and things done right now. This property, this is the property on Oak Street near the entrance to the golf course. They're discussing this property because the Adult Shared Living organization has been requesting property where they could build a home. So the decision for the Affordable Housing Trust is after they do their survey and after their engineering to see how much of this property would be suitable for building and what could be built, they'll have to make a decision as to whether they want to transfer it to the Adult Shared Living or sell it. So that's where they are on that. The next property they discussed was Depot Road, Depot Road. But again, what they're saying is all these properties, eventually they're going to have them surveyed, appraised, engineering. They're going to go through the process, and then they will, decide what they're going to do with each of them. Of course, Sisson Road, they were already halfway there with stuff they had done, and they're looking to get some of the information that was previously done, so that they realize the fact that they need all this done in order to make their action plan. They need the action plan, and they realize the steps that have to be taken to do that, and I think now they are actively going to pursue this. Kathy?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that your clarification on several of the points at the meeting was important.
Well, thank you.
Because they, again, misinformation, or at least didn't quite transfer correctly. And so it was important that you were there to clarify, especially about J1, J2, and J3, if you'll all recall.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Elaine spoke up a couple of times to clarify, and it was really important that she did.
Thank you, thank you. I feel it's important to attend those meetings, and not just so that I have something to say, but I'd like to know what their discussion is, and I'm better in person with stuff like that than watching, watch it later. But I like to be there, and I like them to know that I'm there.
Yeah, no, it was
Even
good.
if I don't
It was important.
raise my hand, because I think sometimes they groan. Okay. So I think they're going to move along better now than they have. Did you get that impression? Did anybody else watch that meeting?
I watched the
Did you
meeting.
watch it? Did you get the impression that they're,
Well, I mean, I feel like they're where they were 2 years ago, reviewing everything again. I don't know if they took any steps back then except for Sisson Road. Because as you know, they declared that Sisson Road was the project they were gonna focus their intent on and, try to get something that they could measure success by.
right?
Okay, and then, COVID hit and that fell off by the wayside and that kind of thing. So I think they're sort of back to where they were 2.5 years ago. But it's sort of the same thing as being discussed, but now they're gonna take it to the next step. So,
Yeah, yeah. And to give them credit, I think COVID, they were at the point where it was then going to be public input. It was then, and you can't do that when you're doing Zoom and go-to meetings, So that kind of was a roadblock for them. So now, hopefully, they will move forward with it. So, and I wish them well. And they seem to want to connect better with, like, the housing committee and all. It seems like they want to, really get everything together in one place, so.
What is the status of the Sisson Road proposal?
They had
the square one.
They had the survey done, when, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, they had that done. And,
Well, I don't know if they really had it done. I think what they did was they were digging up old information that they had on Sisson Road and to
Yeah.
look at that. And then they were gonna have something done, and I don't know if it was actually ever done.
I don't think so. I think the engineering and all that has to be done. But they did have a plan,
Mhm.
they did have a building plan. And they're gonna try and move forward with it. But again, they also have the Pleasant Lake property that now they're, dealing with. So they have a lot, and it looks like things are gonna be better organized, hopefully. So, that was it on that one. Meeting with town administrator. Jim, would you like to, James and I met with Mr. Powers, after our last meeting. Or the
Right, yeah,
next-
the Friday,
Yeah, the
a
Friday
week
after.
after our
Week
last
after.
meeting.
And this was in regards to the steps to acquisition of properties that Jim had composed. And we had that discussion with town administrator. Jim, would you like to talk about
Well,
that?
just that Joe was very receptive to it and was sort of very happy that we produced that and submitted it to him. And then we were going to, we did a cover letter and submitted it to Mike McCaskill.
Yeah, I have the cover.
Yeah,
Let me
and-
just interrupt you. So
Sure.
we did a cover letter because I didn't want them to think that we were telling them what to do.
Right.
Okay, so it says, Dear Mr. McCaskill, Real Estate and Open Space Committee is submitting this document only to provide helpful information which may be useful when the board moves to acquire unidentified properties, that is, not recorded at the registry or the assessor's office. Respectfully submitted. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay,
Just wanted to make
so
it clear.
Elaine, have we gotten any response back from Mike McCaskill?
No.
Okay, but anyway, I think that Joe was very receptive to this. We talked a little bit about, how you need to proceed, based on this direction. One of the key things that we discussed is the fact that this all costs a lot of money. And that I guess there is a warrant going to town meeting for some form of financial support for this. It's unclear to me exactly what that is as of right now. I mean, if you remember from the meeting we had with the Board of Selectmen, Mike McCaskill had mentioned something about $500,000.
I think they did put that together.
Excuse me?
I think I saw someplace that they did put that together.
They did put that together, okay, because Joe thought it might have something to do with, as they are able to sell various properties, that the funds would go into an account for this type of work. But irrespective, it has to be approved by town meeting before anything can proceed. Now, what I got out of this meeting is that Joe, at least, is very receptive to our giving advice and help. As Elaine stated, we weren't telling them what to do. We were just offering this as a suggestion and to assist. And I think in the future, when we see opportunities to do this, we should take those opportunities.
Yeah, it was very well received.
Good.
So, but no, I have not heard from Mr. McCaskill.
Okay.
Finance Committee meeting. Mike Locke and I attended this meeting, and they were very, very receptive. They were, there was not any question, any...
This was regarding the Spruce Woods project.
Yeah, yes, regarding Great Woods, Six Ponds Great Woods, I guess is the official title now. And we explained the $950,000 and the conservation restriction, and if the land grant comes through, that money would go back. Explained the whole thing to them, and they were very receptive and didn't have any real questions about it. So they were all in favor. They didn't vote yet. And within the next 2 weeks, they will be voting on whether to approve or not approve the various warrant articles. So it looked good.
Good.
It looked very good.
Good.
So that felt good when we left that meeting. So anyone have anything? Kathy, is there anything going on at CPC that we need to?
No, everything's good with the Spruce Woods thing though, right? There's no issues or anything?
No.
The grant got
We
signed,
saw
the grant, not the grant, but the grant agreement for the contracting the services with the compact, that got all signed, right?
Yes. Yeah, contract is all signed and returned to the compact. Yeah, everything, and we did see what we believe to be the final article.
Draft of the
wordage.
warrant article, okay.
Yeah. So it's fine. I had to make one correction because there was an error, but
Yeah.
that's me. So that's fine. Now, the next time it comes before the Board of Selectmen, the explanations will be under, how in the warrant article, then they have the explanation underneath. That will be at the next time the Board of Selectmen look at it. So we'll have a look at that. But we were concerned about how the final verbiage of that article was, because, we're a little gun shy about that. But it's fine. It was fine. So this
Good.
looks like it's moving along very well. I know we had mentioned about town meetings coming up, 50-something days, I guess, from now. I think anyone on this committee is very well qualified and able to speak if to get up and speak in support of this, or to, if anything comes up. I think we're all, least of all me, but all able to get up and, so feel free to, at the town meeting, to get up and.
The selectmen are gonna make the motion?
No, it's the.
It's the CPC.
CPC makes the
So
motion.
CPC is making the motion because it's CPC funds are being asked for
Okay,
the $950,000 for
Right.
the conservation restriction.
okay.
But I'm sure if there's any questions, Mike Locke will be there. He'll get permission to speak since he's not a town of Harwich resident. And then he'll address any questions about how that works.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that there's gonna be a upswell of support for the purchase of conservation land, especially a big chunk like this, especially given what happened last year at town meeting. So I don't think there's gonna be really any issues, I think.
Well,
Especially using CPA funds, which are already sort of allocated. It's not like we're gonna be dipping into anything
Right.
additional,
Right.
so.
and I think if that grant comes through, that money coming back, that helps too. I mean,
Sure.
it's not gonna be 950.
And will we know that before town meeting?
No,
No, that's not due
that's
till
submitted in
June.
July, I think, and then I think they find out like maybe in September or October.
Mhm.
It's sort of, just a risk you take,
Yeah.
but it's worth the fees to file for it and the, so CPC voted $12,500 in administrative fees to support the grant writing and the filing of the application and a conservation appraisal.
Right.
Or conservation, whatever it is, so
Yeah,
there's
the
a special
appraisal.
appraisal, so that's already been passed, so.
Perfect.
And the appraisal's been done. Appraisal was done,
Mhm.
so, yeah. So
Good.
that's all good.
Yeah.
But again, feel free,
Yeah.
to speak. Some of us feel free. Okay. Anyone else have anything they been up to, thinking, anything you want on the agenda, next agenda?
Well, I could fill in on what happened on the next agenda about discussions I've had with Dan Pelletier and some of the work that
Okay,
they're going through.
okay. So I think we can put that under,
It's really to follow up on something that
Follow up.
goes from it's old business in my book. It's something that, we had proposed probably at least a year ago. We had made a presentation, or I made a presentation with them about a bunch of lots that were owners unknown and or back taxes and so forth.
okay,
And he was applying for a grant, and
Right.
I think that was
Right.
was it able to apply for a grant? So
okay.
I'll fill you in on
Okay.
that.
And next agenda, I'm gonna have a little update for you on, believe it or not, Cherokee.
Mm.
Ah. Wow, just when you thought it was.
Just when you thought
Just when you thought.
it was safe to go outside, it's not.
Okay. Cherokee. Okay. Anything else people would like to see?
Yeah, I think, Elaine, we would just need an update on where we stand with the deeds for this piece of property that we talked about in executive session.
Oh, okay, yeah, I have that. We will do that in executive session if we're able to, if we have something to discuss.
Fine.
Margot, anything that concerns you or think about or something
No,
you'd like
I
to bring to the table?
I'm happy that things are moving along. We
Okay,
made
I
some
am
progress
too.
here. You mentioned in your most recent email that the trust is doing some kind of a event this morning to open the trail at,
Oh, yes. Harwich Conservation Trust has invited our committee to come to the opening of the trailhead on Headwaters Drive.
okay.
So anybody that would like to, to go over there after this, I think they said for 10 o'clock, so, yeah. That was last year's work, and I think we put a lot into that. We worked
Mhm.
very hard on that project, and I think it's good that we are, invited to come to it and
Yeah.
share in the final result of all the
Yeah.
hard work we did
Yeah.
on our part, so, yeah. Anything else, Marcy, anything you would like to see or have on the agenda, or anything going on in the properties that nothing?
No, I mean, I'm always interested in the Bank Street property,
Yeah.
Harbor Master.
Mm.
But, I think that's, as far as we know, is moving.
Yeah, it seems that's going along, moving along, yeah. So, nothing else? Anyone? Anything? I'll take a motion to, Amy, anything you'd like to add to the meeting? No? Art, anything you'd like to share with us or comment on?
On a personal note, I'd like to meet everyone in the parking lot. I got up collecting some signatures. So
Okay.
if anyone wants to give me an parking lot, gladly take your signature.
Okay.
Then I'll tell you what it's about.
Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Should
Oh.
we set the next meeting first?
Oh, yeah. Now, the next meeting date would be April 15th, which is Good Friday and Passover.
Oh,
So I would suggest we not meet on that day. I know I won't be here.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
Good
not.
Friday,
I'm not gonna be here, I'll be out of town.
yeah. So do we want to go to the week after?
Sure.
Which would be, I think, the
The
22nd.
22nd.
Is it 22nd?
Mhm.
Everybody okay with?
I would recommend the 22nd.
I'm not gonna be here, but that's okay, I mean, you can go ahead.
Oh, well, we missed you.
So,
We missed you. Okay, so April 22nd.
Okay.
Next meeting. And again, if anything comes up that you'd like to add to the agenda, please let me know. Glad to do that. Okay,
Thank you very much.
we are adjourned.
all in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.